Hello everybody, StarCraft here with another 1 vs 1 STARBOW commentary. It's going to be a replay commentary. This time this was played on my stream on, I don't even know. Was it on Friday or Wednesday? I don't really know. Stream schedule has been a bit whack lately, but I try to do the 3 times per week dealio thingamajig. Going to be streaming today. It is Monday. Going to be streaming starting around, I don't know, 2 or 3 Pacific time. Whenever the hell I feel like it. If you follow me on any social networking or Twitch, you'll, be notified when I am streaming, or even YouTube. I usually make a video letting you know I'm streaming. But anyway, it's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. My opponent in the top right is going to be the purple toss, Balthazar. I'm in the bottom left, it's a green Zerg, I'm PsY. And he's obviously going to be preparing some kind of quick expansion with this pylon on, excuse me, on the outskirts. And he's going to go ahead and scout right away. In toss, I do like to do my 10-10 build. Basically pull at 10, gas at 10, get speed fast, put on some pressure. It a lot of times it forces out a couple cannons, hopefully 2 if, I'm lucky. And it really keeps them honest. They can't really do like any early zealot aggression. Sometimes it can win games outright if they don't scout it in time and they don't see the lings coming. I just run on by. Even if they do have a cannon, if they have a gap and I have my speed finished, if I have about 8 lings, I can run on by and get in with 6 lings. And 6 lings with speed against just a bunch of probes and maybe a zealot or 2. Very, very powerful. So hopefully I can make it happen. We'll see what these lings can do. But I time it, and so I have 3 larvae just in time for my spawning pool to finish. And obviously the gas is going to be a little bit behind. Not quite going to have 100, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. I just now noticed they have the different Vespene icons. Have they always had that? I didn't even realize it. It's kind of silly that I'm just now noticing that. Do they still have the different mining in Heart of the Swarm? I know in Brood War they all had different little balls of gas in their hand. They all mined it differently. I don't know if that's still the case. But anyway, as we can see here, Balthazar is going to be throwing down a photon cannon. And, now that these lings are on the way, he's going to be getting 2 cannons, actually. And what this does is it prevents the Nexus, which is pretty cool, from coming down very early. And also, you can see 2 cannons instead of, maybe no cannons and just a gateway wall off with a really late cannon. So he's definitely playing this very carefully. He's actually getting 2 gateways, and is he full walling off? He's getting just a pylon, a second cannon and a second pylon on the way. And this is what the 10 pool is really cool for. Like this Nexus normally would want to be thrown down much earlier, and these cannons, 2 of these cannons, are definitely going to prevent any kind of run by from these lings. Quick cancellation of the pylon right there. Thinking I might be able to get on by, but not with these 2 cannons. So he's investing a whole lot in, non-Nexus buildings in the early game. He does get this pylon to block off, my hatchery production, but those 2 lings, the extra 2 lings I'm rallying, are going to take that down just fine. And he actually cancels that, probably to get the Nexus down a little bit sooner. But looks like he wants to try to block off a 3rd hatch, but lings are going to be able to take that down just fine. So the expansion is going up. Yeah, I'm down in harvesters, but once this, hatchery finishes, I should be able to catch up, and he's just now getting his Nexus. So he does have, he actually canceled one of those gateways too, it looks like. So he just wanted to get a wall off. So kind of losing a lot of money on building cancellations. He lost, a quarter of 150, a quarter of 2 pylons. So 50 for those pylons. Just a lot of money, whatever, not a big deal. And see, now I'm up in harvester count, and we've basically got a normal game going. This probe should be dead. Die. Nope. Not quite gonna happen. What are you doing, Ling? Why the hell did he just run up there? Oh, I think I was looking for a Nexus. At this point, I wasn't sure if he was building a Nexus, and I saw all these cannons, and I saw these 2 gateways, and I was like, maybe he's just gonna fake the Nexus because it's coming so late anyway. But as you can see, the Nexus is just right there. This Overlord is eventually going to be poised to scout it, but it's going to happen so late. Yes, you can get an Overseer with 50 gas or 25. What? Overseers are cheap. I thought Overseers were 50-50. I guess they're only 25-25, which is exactly what I'm doing. But until you get a lair, which I don't have, obviously, they're much, much slower. So Hydralisk's dead on the way. Maybe going for a 3-hatch Hydra push. Hard to say. I kind of forget how this game goes. But this Overseer is going to try to get some scouting in. These lings just kind of chill him. He's only got 1 zealot, 2 zealots now. And what tech path is he choosing? He's going with the Twilight Council. So Twilight Council is a pretty normal building. You can't really draw a lot of conclusions from it. Yeah, it's not a robotics facility, so you know there's not going to be any reavers or drops or anything like that. But Protoss don't really go that route anyway against Zerg or in general. And, the Twilight Council just tells you, okay, he might have Zealot legs soon. He's probably going to get Templar. Got to watch out for High Templar and DTs and so on and so forth. Not really a big you know, scouting revelation to see a Twilight Council. But this Overseer is going to be flying in. No Stalkers or Drangoods to be seen, so it's going to have its free reign of scouting. And then I'm going to see that Nexus up. And what I like to do in this situation is click on the mineral patches. You can see the dashed lines means I was clicking on these mineral patches to see what the count was at, and he's had his natural a little bit longer than me, and I don't know why I just flew it directly into these cannons, and this Overseer is going to be taken down pretty easily, and pretty silly move by me. I mean, not only did I lose an Overseer, which was good for scouting, I also supply capped myself, so the harvester count is in my favor like crazy right now. This third hatchery is up and running. I've got a lot of resources coming in, and I feel like the 10-pull opener, while it didn't do any direct damage, did a lot of indirect damage against Balthazar. He just doesn't have as many workers as me. You know, I've got these Lings just kind of keeping him in his base, scouting pretty effectively. He's got 5 Zealots out. He might choose to make a move with these, but I have a Hydra Den. The Hydras now have their speed up, so if he does choose to move out with these Zealots, I should be fine as long as I scout it, as long as I, you know, micro any Hydras that I need to micro. And he's timing this with the Zealot legs. Zealot legs pretty damn good against Hydras. It makes him significantly faster than Hydras. And I'm going to react by getting more Hydras or some Spines or something, but these 6 Zealots are scary, man. Does he have +1? No +1, so it does take him 3 shots to kill. Zergling still. Templar Archives on the way. I'm still mining off my 3 base. He's now beating me in Harvesters, and this is because I'm actually getting a Spine in my main and in my, I guess, my bonus base, I guess you could call it. He sees these Hydras. Going to be very careful. I'm not sure if he wants to move in. Yes, it looks like he is going to move in. I think the most important thing to do in this situation is try to save my queens and my spine, or save my queen and my Hydras. Spine could die. It doesn't really matter too much. It's not nearly as important as having these Hydras and queen alive. And we can see we are going to rout these Zealots. So decent production of Hydras right there. I think I had just enough to do what I need to do. A little bit low on workers though, and that's because I don't have a macro hatch. It's something you, especially on like 3 base like this, you really want to have kind of 3 base. Oh, this has 5 patches? I thought I only had 4 patches. What the hell? Well, that's kind of cool. You really want to get a macro hatch when you're producing Hydras. The reason you don't necessarily get a macro hatch when you're producing Mutas is because they cost much more for the larva you have to spend, whereas Hydras are much, much cheaper than Mutas, half the cost in resources, 100 compared to 200. So you're going to want more hatcheries to fund them. And we can see that I don't quite have that yet. Roach Warren is on the way, however. And a Roach Warren is basically a good mid-game counter to a lot of Protoss compositions. But later on, when their army gets bigger, they're not great. Because the reason I'd like to get Roaches is because they can obviously burrow, unburrow in the back, and pick off High Templar, which is exactly what he's going. He's even getting 1 DT as well. And it's just really good in small numbers of High Templar, and you know, you've got like 5 or 6 Roaches which can one-shot the High Templar. I think it takes like 6 Roaches to one-shot a High Templar, maybe even 7, I think. Do they have armor? No, they don't. I think it's 6. But anyway, it usually works pretty well. They have high armor, so they can soak up a lot of Zealot attacks. And one strategy I've been wanting to try, which I haven't actually tried yet, he looks like he's poisoned to get another Nexus. One strategy I've wanted to try, which I haven't done yet, is Baneling Hydra timing, just like a normal Baneling Hydra timing, and just haven't really thought about it as a game has started, so I haven't really done it. But anyway, we are seeing the harvester count a bit lopsided, but if we check out the mining, it's not that lopsided. I might even be ahead because I'm mining off of 5 more minerals than he is, because he doesn't quite have this Nexus complete yet. So while I am 7 harvesters behind, you have to take into account the number of patches each of us have available to us. And here's finally 1 macro hatch. Probably going to think about expanding to the western location pretty soon. These Hydras just kind of moving out into a forward location. You got to be very careful though, because like I said before, 2.91 compared to 3.14. Hydra's a little bit slower than these Zealots. Storm not going off, not going to risk storming just a couple Hydras when he doesn't need to. And this is actually a really scary composition against Hydras. You kind of need something else. You need, obviously Mutas would be great here. A Muta switch would have been awesome. Roaches are a decent answer, but I mean, once he gets so many units, Roaches just can't really it just seems like they're less effective at burrowing and getting in behind the High Templar and doing damage. But he is moving out with so many Zealots. He's got +1 attack. I have +1 attack as well. 3 more Roaches on the way, as well as 7 Overlords. I'm floating quite a bit of cash, and in this situation, I always say this, but I never do it. I should be expanding. I should be taking a lot more bases. This Roach getting very adventurous, and he actually doesn't have a big army at this time, but it's kind of hard for me to see. I should have been flying my Overseer over him. Going to do just that now. this drone's going to get easily taken down. But if I would have flown my Overseer over him, I could have seen that maybe I could have got some kind of roach snipe on the High Templar. And obviously Mutas, man. Mutas would have been just such a huge play. He is getting 5 Dragoons as well as the Dragoon range right now. So pretty uneventful game so far. A little Zealot attack. The 10 pool, you know, had some action in it. But right now it's just kind of like a composition macro game. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be going with the Mutas. Dragoon's not very powerful against Mutas, but Stalkers are actually pretty good against Mutas. Pretty expensive though, 125 with 50 gas, for such a fragile unit, but they are good at chasing Mutas. Another hatchery going down, so that's going to be my 4th base if you count the miniature base. Some storms going in, not really hitting anything. Probably could have ran into these Templar and killed quite a few of them, but did not happen, getting a couple volleys against these Zealots, and this is kind of just a really weird back and forth tug of war. With this many Zealots, there's no reason I shouldn't be getting, you know, Banelings or something. He's going to try to move that Templar in to get some storms off. Not going to happen. I could be burrowing these roaches more. The cooldown is very short, 6 seconds, so I should be, you know, bouncing back and forth with these roaches, you know, trying to dodge the storm. And there goes the storm, accidentally burrowing the Hydras instead of the roaches, and we can see he has no observatory, and there goes the bro again. And I think I could do a lot more damage with these roaches than I am. A couple decent storms just slowly chipping away at these roaches. 150 life on the roaches, and they actually get increased regen on speed. You can see the regen is actually pretty significant as it is. I think that might just be for all Zerg units, I'm not sure, but if you are on creep, you actually get even more regen. So still no observer. Does he have an observatory? Or okay, he does have a robotics facility. No observatory as far as I can tell. Yeah, he can't produce an observer. So these lurkers hopefully will do something. I've only got 3 on the way, and it seems like I'm really gas starved. And this is why you want this space, you know, and maybe even this base, these bases, much sooner than I got them. So we're just kind of bouncing back and forth. Look at the spread that happens in STARBOW. Your unit spreads so much. And he's got such a scary composition, but if I can keep my lurkers alive, these Zealots could melt pretty fast. He's picking off a couple Zealots, trying to avoid the storms. That's really my main concern right now, is don't die to the storms. Lots of Zerglings just kind of rallying in and getting owned. This is Changeling, at least can see some stuff. Well, not anymore. They die so cool. And just going to be moving in with the roaches. What's their damage? 18 damage with +1 attack. Oh, another great storm, but the bro's going to allow me to dodge some of the damage. Creep spread around here, or even just like Overlord's pooping, would actually be pretty cool because I could regen a lot faster. I wonder what the actual regen rate increase is. I don't know. But I'm about to finish my +2 attack. He's got his, looks like, is that the Observer upgrade? I don't even know. He's got +2 attack and +1 armor. He must have 2 forges. Yeah, he does. And doing the burrow shenanigans once again. Quite a few lurkers. Does he have an observer, though? Don't see an observer. He's rallying a lot of his units to the eastern base, and that's going to give him a pretty significant boost in mining. You can see my harvester count is only at 54. I just haven't really produced a lot of drones. I guess I don't need to. I have so much money. 7 mutas on the way. Not really sure what the mutas are for now, since he's got so many dragoons. And this is kind of odd to get this many dragoons. I guess once you have the Zealot and Templar to stop the Hydras, you just want dragoons to stop any air to do better against the roaches. And I think he figures, okay, dragoons pretty damn good against roaches, so let me just go with that. And does he have, yes, he does have an observer somewhere. He's getting so many storms in. These roaches running into the back, surrounding all these dragoons. One more storm on those roaches. These Hydras are able to back up and dodge most of the storms. Lurker's doing pretty much nothing, just dying right away. But it looks like with the rallying links, I should be able to take down this dragoon force and possibly just secure the game. 7 mutas on the way as well, but there is a DT just chopping me up. Holy crap, this DT is going to get a lot of damage. You always need to keep an overseer with your army. I have an overlord over there that's not doing anything. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good about the game. He's got a lot of units rallying out. He's got some good positioning on his dragoons. But this Dark Templar, oh my gosh, this Dark Templar is doing so much damage. I choose to back up, realizing maybe I shouldn't be fighting in this kind of choke. And meanwhile, you know, he's actually got way better upgrades than me. I possibly could have just stopped pushing at the front and just checked for more bases, because he does have this base up and running. And he's got a lot of units churning out. 6 Zealots, a Stalker, and 2 Templar at a time. So he's got, what, 8 or 9 gateways? How many does he have? Oh, and he's adding on so many more. He's got so many gateways. He's got 13 gateways, and he can afford this once again. Moving in, these Zealots just destroying these links, though. The links have absolutely no armor. Trying to pick off some High Templar with these mutas. But that, oh man, the Overseer getting sniped, so if he makes more Dark Templar, that could be bad for me. So continuing to press in. The Zealot upgrades, I cannot stress enough how big of a deal these upgrade differences are, and he doesn't have an observer. Maybe his observer died somehow, and just 5 more zealots, like 5 more zealots, stalkers, so many units rallying out. This observer obviously going to be able to take down these lurkers, allow him to take down these lurkers. Lings going in with +0 attack aren't going to do jack squat. Look how long it's taking to kill that zealot just because there's no upgrades on those lings. Yet it looks like I might succeed in this battle anyway, but no. Archon completing. 7 roaches on the way, 2 more hatcheries, trying to take these 2 bases. Looks like he's going to be building some cannons and taking that down. But I just can't quite seal the deal. I'm rallying in units. He's, you know, getting his army back up. He's got so much money off of this base. His harvester count is higher, and it's really just like an economy thing right now. I'm not macroing very well, and my economy is kind of in shambles. I'm like running off no mineral patches. These bases are kind of desperation bases. Like, I really don't see. Oh, and I'm rallying poorly into his forces as well. These are kind of just like desperation bases. Like, let me just start out some hatcheries and maybe get some, you know, more mining going. But I actually don't expect these to complete. I probably should have been expanding up to here and here because that's closer to this base. But these are more like Protoss territory bases, and I'm going to be canceling that. Might see him cancel some cannons as well, or just use them as protection. But the problem with this force I have right now is there's no real power in it. Like, the Storm, just normal Protoss army with good upgrades, can easily take down this army, and I haven't really been successful in getting, oh no, watch out Muse, in getting burrows into the back of the Protoss army and killing these High Templar. Going to be trying that right now. Oh, what the heck? Roaches do very bad, poor damage, it looks like. How much damage do they? They do like 20, right? It seems like they did a lot less, but this is kind of a scary composition. These 2 Archons are going to soak up so much damage. And I don't have very many Hydras, which are really the DPS dealers. Just rallying tons of more Zerg units. Trying to take this base. It looks like I will be able to take this base and get some mining out of it, but he's actually going to take this base after cannoning me. And he's going to take the top left as well, it looks like. So he's just going to take nexuses all around the map. And I'm kind of starved for effective units, I guess. I don't know. This is just a giant Protoss army. He's actually maxed out, and I'm not even close to being maxed out. Looks like he's going to be moving to the southern east position. And I've got a lair, I've got a spire, I've got all kinds of tech, but I'm just not really getting any effective. Oh, maybe get a surround on these Templar. All those Templar are going down. Holy crap. That was a huge pickup. He's got 0 storms coming out, but he does have amazing upgrades. He's 2-2 still. I'm still sitting at 2-0, and these roaches just can't soak up enough damage. Not enough Hydras. These Zealots just tearing things up. Lurkers burrowing way too far away and not in time. And there aren't any Banelings. There's just nothing to deal with that number of Zealots. Finally, the Zealot's about to be taken down, but of course he's still got Archons, Dragoons, tons of stuff backing them up. Oh man, that was so fortunate to get all those Templar with those Lings. He was forced to storm himself, but then just didn't have the army. I just didn't have the oomph to get over that hill, whatever you want to call it. Lots of Hydras on the way, even a couple of Vipers, but it's just not looking good. He's got so many Dragoons, lots of Archons, forced to back out. Hydras are very effective against Archons and Dragoons. He's got no Zealot and no Templar, which is why I chose to make 22 more Hydras. But he does have Dark Templar, which are pretty good. Looks like I'm not even noticing them. Is he going to get the Storm off? Yes, oh, that's a great Storm. Not paying attention, didn't move my Hydras in time. All these Hydras just melting. He's got DTs in the back, pincering these Hydras. And once again, this battle would have been won easily if I had Overseers in the composition. Despite that great Storm, it's really DTs that are just killing me this game. They really are just destroying the shit out of me. These Vipers are out, but they're kind of just like desperation Vipers. I mean, they would have been nice to have earlier in the game when, you know, the big battles were happening. Some snares, you know, would have been pretty damn effective. But unfortunately, they did come out pretty late. These DTs, once again, going to be cleaning stuff up. No, he's going to choose to recall and accidentally not recalling a DT. Maybe that was on purpose. But that DT is actually going to do a ton of damage. Just chilling there. Looks like he is going to be moving it back. This Overseer finally scouting it. No! Die, DTs! Yes, DT's dying. Holy crap, that is a lot of Zealots. Zealot's pretty good against Lings. And +3 is almost finished. He's even got Warp Gates, it looks like. Warping units in the bottom right. And it looks like this might be it. He's just got so many Zealots. His economy is through the roof right now, even taking an extra base. This base just kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize he was attempting to take that. Muta's flying overhead. doing almost no damage to units with such high armor. Do they even have any attack upgrades? Yes, they do have one. Some ensnares going down, but I'm kind of running out of steam. Minerals running very low. The space just never really got saturated for whatever reason. Didn't play the best of games, but it was a good one. Saw a lot of units. Saw some decent lurker positioning up here, which allowed me to win this first battle. And then I just kind of didn't follow it up really well. I didn't try to attack this space. I didn't try to do any drops, any lurker drops. Didn't try to change my composition or upgrade to go T3. It's a well-played game by him. It was a fun game, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Once again, I'm going to be streaming, so check it out. Might even stream like some Counter-Strike or something. I don't know. That's going to be it. Thanks for watching.